Hello, hello, hello.
Oh man.
Finally, I was
Yeah,
like, is something wrong? Because it's like I was like, how come he's not in yet?
yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay, it's okay. But like, I'm glad to see that, you're alive.
Oh yes, yes. Well,
Mhm.
I think everybody's trying to, survive through this pandemic.
Uh-huh. hmm But it's coming to an end.
Yes,
It's just like taking life one step at a time. You just gotta stay safe, pray for one another, because it changed a lot of lives.
yes, it has. Yeah, it took a lot of lives.
hmm
Yeah, but I'm safe on
Anyways,
this.
I'm happy. I'm happy that you're safe and you look healthy.
Yes, well, try to do the right things.
hmm
Eat right, exercise
Yeah.
in my life.
hmm
Yeah, outside everything else.
Yeah. Anyways, good afternoon from your side because it's after 4 p.m. over there.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. And it's after 7 p.m. out here.
No, where you at?
Oh,
You
I'm in New
you on the
York.
East Coast? New
hmm
York, okay.
hmm
Yes. Well, it's a little cooler today, but still, it's sunny California, so I can't complain
hmm
too much.
Okay. So, ooh, so let's get started. Vincent Calloway, formerly of Midnight Star, and one half of the R&B duo Calloway. In your own perspective, what's the difference between Calloway and Midnight Star?
Well, I probably started as Callaway. We're brothers, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Rich and I, we started off as kids in music playing. He brought home a trumpet from school and showed
Mm-hmm.
me how to build a trumpet mouthpiece, and I got hooked on it. And he told me that I should play a saxophone, but I still got hooked on the trumpet. And so we've been playing as kids, and later on, we had a jazz fusion group called Sunchild that we played out, during the summer. It was in college, and from there, when he went back to college, he formed, helped form Midnight Star, and he called me, one summer, saying he wanted me to come down and help them work on the demo
Mm-hmm.
deal, and so during that process, they wound up putting me in the group. I would say the rest is history. But once we left Midnight Star, we did form, Callaway as a duo. I was starting off producing other artists like Natalie Cole and Teddy Pendergrass and Gladys Knight and Levert. Of course, we did Climax and the Whispers early on during the Midnight Star time, but that was pretty much the start of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Why did you and Reggie leave Midnight Star?
Well, I think it was time for us to, make a change. We had some controversial things that we had to deal with with the group. So we decided to, leave and move on. And, we just started forming our own production team. And then we had the opportunity to do a solo, duo project and went off from there.
Okay. Because, Midnight Star is like when we first started, is like 9 men and that one woman, Belinda. And you guys, when you first joined, you and Reggie first joined Midnight Star, it's like it was one hell of an impact.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Well, the group, it was actually not eight guys and one lady. So in total nine.
hmm
It was, um,
hmm
once I got with the group, we actually had an opportunity to stay in our grandparents, our father and uncle, still had our grandparents' home in Louisville, Kentucky. And
hmm
they said that we can use that house as the band house. So
hmm
first time staying together, then everybody decided to quit school. I was just
Mhm.
not even out of high school at that time. So we started rehearsing there and living there. And then later we had an opportunity to go to New York to do a showcase. And then after that, uh, our mom gave up her home for the 9 band members and 3 road crew.
Mhm.
So we
Mhm.
on that time, and we would train every day. I would train the band. My background is in martial arts, so we would get up at
Mhm.
4 in the morning. We'll run
Mhm.
3 miles, come back, do calisthenics. I'm walking in their stomach, working on the breathing and
Mhm.
doing stretching exercise. Then we have breakfast. Then we have band rehearsals, horn section rehearsals, rhythm section rehearsals, choreography rehearsal for horn section, uh, you know, choreography section for the rhythm section, and then we do full band. And then we write the rest of the day. So that was our life, which
Mhm.
many groups had that opportunity. Nobody had outside jobs. We just 24/7. So it was a
Mhm.
commitment. But had we tried to live separate and separate jobs, it probably would never happen. And it was tough then, but
Mhm.
we kept working at it.
Mhm. And back in the days, usually, it was usually tough, but things just like happen, like turn out the way it's supposed to turn out.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
We have to.
Artists has went through a lot of tough times back in the day, but things turn out how it's supposed to turn out how it's supposed to turn out.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I think because we lived together and we had good support. Our mom, Gloria Larson, of course, our mom just passed last Christmas, Christmas before last. But she gave up her home, but she was also a businesswoman and she believed in what we were doing. So she
Mm-hmm.
teaches and managed the group as everything else. So that was a great support. But also, we trained hard, we exercised, we ate,
Mm-hmm.
we did try to do the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other groups, our artists kind of fall victim to.
Mm-hmm. So I see that nowadays you're mostly consistent in martial arts, drawing, and like sometimes cooking. Like
Yes,
how
ma'am.
do those how are those three things for you?
Well, I would have to say there's a thread creativity and being an artist. I think whether you're a chef, you have to be an artist. I've been as far as visual arts, I've been drawing. I'll say all my life. I can't remember when I started, but I've always used art as a tool. Whether it's designing my stage setup or costumes for stage. Um, but it's, now that I have more time to dedicate to doing my visual arts. Martial arts I've been doing as a young kid, my early teens.
Mm-hmm.
Been a tool. It's kind of what you know
Mm-hmm.
one of my biggest contributions to Midnight Star is training the band and keeping everybody on a good fitness program. We actually pretty much got signed off of our high energy performance. It was before uh, groups were putting out great demos and stuff like that. Most of our demos were
Mm-hmm.
beating on a suitcase or oatmeal box and singing.
Mm-hmm.
It's but I think just being in shape and being fit. But
Mm-hmm.
my art, martial arts, has had the opportunity to have me train pro boxers, professional UFC fighters, um,
Mm-hmm.
young athletes, kids just playing basketball and gymnastics that needs. I'm also a sprinter too, track and field, so I can help them up
Mm-hmm.
speed. But it's about longevity, trying to stay injury free, stay healthy, your mind, training your mind, because you have to have a strong mind as well. Um, what else? Cooking. I love to cook.
That's what most important because it's like people need food in their system, especially if you're doing like martial arts, which is part of exercising. You need that like certain types of food in your system.
Exactly. Well, and being a musician, traveling around the country or the world, you know, when you go out, for one, you can't exercise the way you did, here at home.
Mhm.
You have to kind of prepare before you go out on the road, or before you go out on an event, but also
Mhm.
your body properly too. So when you go on the road, subject to eat anything you can kind of get your hands on, depending on
Mhm.
the situation you're in. But I think eating right. But I purchased a cast iron wok years ago, and I kind of taught myself how to, prepare a lot of not only my family dishes, through our family, but also,
Mhm.
some Asian style foods and different things to keep myself healthy. Some stir fried, a lot of vegetables and.
Mhm. Yeah, stir fried is very healthy. Like, especially like you gotta stir fry those noodles, those vegetables,
Hmm.
chicken.
Yeah, so I've been giving up all my students and family members cast iron woks
Mhm.
gift because I know it'd be with them for something you pass on down to your next generation. So,
Mhm.
and it simplifies, when people get older, you know,
Mhm.
trying to prepare, decent meals with 4 or 5 different pots and then to clean up. And the wok, cut up some good vegetables, if you do eat meat or whatever, and throw it in there and it's ready in a short period of time. So, but yeah, I enjoy cooking.
Mhm. Do you often come up with recipes that people never seen, heard of, or seen or heard before?
Uh, I think I will say yes, but some of them, I may have eaten at a restaurant before, and I say, "Oh man, I'm gonna make something like similar to that." But I'm
Mhm.
advising, sometimes I get a crazy idea about something and
Mhm.
cut up some vegetables or whatever, and I just throw it in. And sometimes it's just about, how you prepare it. Like for instance, like cabbage is probably one of the most awesome vegetables that you can have. You can take it and cut it up. You could put in some red potatoes and onions and bell peppers and you name it, and you can put it in a wok and you can kind of do it more like a steam.
Mhm.
And, or you could take the cabbage and then you can turn the heat up really high and cook what they call kind of like fried cabbage,
Mhm.
your own seasonings. But yeah, I do kind of create my dishes to
Mhm.
keep it interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, it depends on how you make your cabbage. Somebody, it's like sometimes like when people make cabbage, it turns out to be dry. It has to be moist.
Exactly, yeah. And this thing about the wok, is a good seasoned wok. The flavor is going to be there.
Mhm.
The more you use it, the better it gets.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I cook everything, from omelets to
Mhm.
pastas, spaghetti,
Mhm. Mhm.
chicken, fish. You can steam
Mhm.
it. Anything
Mhm.
you want, yeah. Grilled salmon.
Yeah. Mhm.
But
Cabbage is in my own opinion, cabbage is great to eat with string beans, um, chicken, or salmon, fish.
hmm yes, and even if you wanted more of a vegetarian type of meal, the cabbage is so rich that sometimes you don't even miss the meat. But yet you're right, you can use the chicken or fish or whatever. I use
Mhm.
Chinese broccoli. I use
Broccoli is good too.
yeah, bok choy, and so I just experiment. I just sometimes just throw stuff in whatever I have left over. Maybe for the
Mhm.
bell pepper, green onion.
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay. Do you plan on having your own recipe book based on each based on how to make each meal?
I kind of started on that a while and kind of got sidetracked, but I would definitely
Okay.
do that. Yes, because I think it's something valuable, especially for people that's on the go all the time and they're looking for something interesting. But I think doing it out of the walk would be my catch to it.
That's good. I'll be looking forward to it.
Okay.
Mm. So, is it like possible if the Calloway brothers will get back will get back at Midnight Star?
I'll say anything is possible, but nothing's been planned at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We're always open. We made some I would say some really great music. That
Mm-hmm.
and have this place in history. So I think it would be awesome. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think the live performance is something we always took pride in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, sounding close as we can to the record, or even better than the record. So
Mm-hmm.
fun, and we have performance type hit. Performance music. You know,
Mm-hmm.
no parking, electricity, freakazoid.
Mm-hmm. Do it one more time.
Say it again.
Do it one more time. The name of the song
Yes,
by Midnight Star.
yes,
Mm-hmm. Because you guys put like the fans in a dancing room.
yes, yes. You know, that's kind of how we got our first hit. With
Mm-hmm.
freakazoid. When we worked on that, that was a big transition from because we did 3 albums, of course, before we had our
Mm-hmm.
first hit record, but
Mm-hmm.
loved and tested it out and got the response from people that kept people on the dance floor and said, "Oh man, I think we have some." So it's about the performance and about
Mm-hmm.
the dance. Yeah.
That's amazing. So I'm just looking forward to seeing Midnight Star perform live because they are one of the best like groups from the 70s and the 80s. They put out a whole lot of great hits.
Yes. Hmm.
And I see that Reggie is doing his own thing. What does he do again, and how is he like, and how is that working out for him?
It's working out good. He of course released his first solo project that he's promoting. Just releasing a new single called Sabrina, and so he's promoting that and had opportunity to play on some of this new project as well. And I have a solo project that I finished up a while ago, but I'm finally getting around to being able to release it. So I'll give you more information on that hopefully soon. But we're just trying to stay busy, stay creative.
Hmm. And I see that you and Reggie, like, not too long ago put out a single together called Houston.
Yes,
Basically, it's like how do you dedicate that song to the fans?
you see how how
Um, how do you and Reggie like dedicate that song to the fans because like you heard like what recently happened in Houston.
yes.
How long ago was that song?
That was probably a couple of years ago when they had the big, floods and everything.
Oh no, okay, okay.
Yes, I think at that time, I think the kids had lost, their musical instruments and books, so it was based around, bringing some awareness to it for one, but also
Mhm,
some funds, for the kids, to get back into their music, programs.
mhm.
But Houston's kind of got beat up a lot over there.
Yeah, yeah, it's been rough for the past few years now. All we just got to do is pray for the people. And some people who are planning to move to Texas, we need to advise them, please don't move to Houston. You could move to either Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, all the other cities, but Houston is not safe right now.
Yes, yes, yes. In Houston, we performed there a lot as Midnight Star in Houston, and that
Mhm,
was really one of our fun places to perform. So it was, a blessing for us to, have opportunity to put something together with a lot of our musician friends.
mhm. So when you Calloway and Midnight Star, what was the most basics? best things that you experienced while performing on stage?
Oh man, oh, that's a good one.
Mhm.
We've done a lot of, I think a lot of our concerts was, we're touring. One of our earlier tours was with the Gap Band and Roger and Zep.
Mhm.
That was a great tour, and we toured all over. Of course, I think New York was um, some really great shows we did. But also, I think one of our first shows in New York that I remember was with Rick James and
God rest his soul.
yeah, and the Mary Jane Girls.
Mhm.
And that was kind of one of our kickoffs to say, "Oh man, we're on to something here." And I think that's
Mhm.
when the No Parking album was really just starting to sell.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then we did some shows for the Ohio State Fair. Was a pretty historical show where we was playing Freakazoid and people were going crazy and they almost arrested, locked us up for exciting the riot in a good
Mhm.
way. It was just a good performance show. But
Mhm.
and we toured with was it Climax and Shalimar was a awesome.
Mhm. They're one of the best groups too, Charlemagne.
Yes, yes, Shalimar.
And speaking of Charlemagne, what what is the relationship with you guys now and in the past?
You talking about with
Yeah, what's the relationship with you and Charlemagne now and in the past?
oh, it's good. I mean, well, Howard Hewitt was, is a good friend of ours. I haven't seen, Jeffrey Daniels, the current uh, group now is touring, but Carlin, is a good friend, so
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah, speaking of Carolyn, she's all about exercise too. She's a workout freak. She don't play when it comes to her getting in the gym, running, and I respect that. She is one strong woman.
Yeah, she's
And
well,
she is an amazing mother, lovely person.
yes, well, she knows what's going on about
Hmm.
training, and being out touring and stuff. You got to find a way to try to,
Yeah,
stay in shape. But she's
yeah,
amazing. She's
hmm,
like a family to us,
yeah,
family member to us. Mhm. I
hmm,
was a sister.
yeah,
Like she
yeah.
was,
She's a sister to everybody and a friend.
yeah, she was with her dad when we got our first offer to go with Solar Records.
Uh-huh.
She was a
God rest his soul,
yes,
Dick Griffey.
yeah.
Mhm. So, what's the worst thing that you experienced performing on stage, both in Calloway and in Midnight Star?
Worst experience. I I don't know. Let's see. I guess well, I got attacked on stage once before with Midnight Star, but that was just by a fan. But that was handled.
Mhm.
It's a bad thing.
Mhm.
Nobody got hurt. I'm trying to think. One of our shows we did this actually YouTube, Midnight Star Live in Los Angeles. My keyboard, my recorder went out, but it turned out to work out perfect because we revamped the song that we never would have came up with. So I think
Mhm.
most things on stage, you're always constantly trying to make adjustments and make things,
Mhm.
work out for you. But no, no real disasters.
Mhm.
Pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Soul Train, it was on Soul Train and my keyboard almost fell off the stand, but
Mhm.
those are all minor
Oh,
things.
okay. How was it like performing on Soul Train?
Oh man, that was amazing. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
one meeting, Don Cornelius, with
Oh.
as Midnight Star as well as Calloway. But I mean, that was our, you know, uh, thing to look forward to. You know, coming up, say, man, you know, if you get on Soul Train,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you'd have made it. You know, so I think every musician during that time was always their goal because that's where we saw most of the artists performing
Mm-hmm.
on Soul Train. You know, from James Brown to Aretha Franklin to you name it.
Mm-hmm. So, basically, what are your thoughts about Don Cornelius?
Um, well, he was always supportive of our music, you know, our careers. You know, like I say, he brought us back, you know, as Midnight Star as well as Calloway, and he has been a big part of our, you know, beginning and our, you know, continuation in the music. But it's always fun. Nerve,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Duncan Knees, we on Soul Train. The chance to, you know,
And he was always soft spoken. He was a very soft spoken guy.
yes, yeah, we like Don.
Mm-hmm.
He was all part of I guess, the Dick Griffey family as well. You know, about Dick Griffey being part of Soul Train during that time.
Okay. And speaking of music nowadays, how, in your own opinion, how will you view music nowadays?
Uh, it's a lot of it that I like, a lot of it that I don't uh, know about. But you know, everything has its own place. You know, everybody's changing and developing different things. Um, you know, growing up listening to the music in the '60s and '70s, as well as our own era. You know, in the '80s and '90s. You know, when you listen to the Marvin Gaye's and Aretha Franklin's and the Stevie
Hmm.
Wonders and on and on and on, you know, you have
Hmm.
a certain feeling about music. But you know, it's all good because everybody finds something that they like, something that inspires them. You know, with the new artists.
Hmm. It's like people just wonder, like, what happened to music back in the day. I
Yeah,
just hope it comes back this new decade.
yes. Well, you know, it's nothing like great music, great melodies. You know,
Hmm.
dance party music. You know, it would be great.
Hmm.
Some of that art to even with some of the earlier rap artists, I think they also incorporated a lot more of the R&B music, you know, the Houdinis and even the Tupacs and all them, you know.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, had a lot of
And
them.
when you was in Midnight Star, Houdini is the only rap group that was featured on your song. How was it like, working with Houdini?
I, at that time, Reggie and I had left Midnight Star.
Hmm.
Who wasn't a part of that um, when they worked with Houdini.
Okay.
But I mean, I've always been fan of their music.
Hmm. So like now the one a few of the most best, like, groups, they have new members, like um Atlantic Star have new members in Vogue, um High Five. How do you feel about these new members in these legendary iconic groups?
Um, I'm not familiar with the new members, but I would say, you know, those groups, you know, they keep a legacy going.
Hmm.
You know, the Atlantic Stars and on and on and on.
Hmm.
And then it allows, like, like the Temptations.
Mhm.
There's a lot of members that left the group or passed away or whatever, and they
Mhm. God rest their soul.
yeah, and they keep the legacy going on. So and it allows new members to come in,
Mhm.
be a part of that legacy.
Mhm.
And I'm sure they do their best to uphold, or to extend, what they have to bring to the table,
Mhm.
their their contribution.
Mhm. And I just hope the original members come back because it's like, to me, in my own opinion, it's not like, it's not really right to like, have like, new members in like, the most legendary groups. Is like proper when you have the original members.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for, I would say, for the fans. I
Hmm.
agree. I think about some groups I grew up, watching, and then somebody's gone for whatever reason, and say, "Man, I wish I could see the original." But it's kind of a part of, I don't know, part of life, part of time. I mean, I guess we're
Hmm.
a part of that whole thing too with
Yeah.
Midnight Star. But this this part of laws of the universe, the way things happen sometimes.
Hmm.
But the fans, I would say, the fans are the ones who suffer the most because you
Hmm.
you grew up listening to a group and it's like you
Hmm.
what you consider to be the original.
Yeah, what happened to the original members? Because it's like most people like they don't appreciate having new members, and like the new members don't even sound right in their own opinion. I'm not saying they sound right, but the fans of the groups.
Yes, yeah, it's tough.
Hmm. And I just pray that the music industry goes back how it used to be in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
Because the record labels nowadays, they're not doing a great job.
yeah, it's different, definitely
Mhm.
totally.
It's a few of these artists like out there nowadays that have talent like her, Melanie, Fiona, Daniel Caesar,
Hmm.
um Snow Allegra.
Hmm.
They have soulful voices.
Yeah, yeah, definitely have to keep it
Hmm.
going. But
Hmm.
I think everybody just have to kind of, you know, keep working on that craft and keep bringing it,
Hmm.
you know, to the table.
Yeah. Well, so if you will go back, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh man, oh, that's a good one. What I tell my younger self. Hmm. Um, well, I can't think of too much that I would have changed. Things that happened at a time that it was supposed to happen. If I look at my path to, going through the group and the Midnight Star and the martial arts training and on and on and on, everything led up to, I think what it should have led up to. I would say, had I not been studying martial arts, I would not have gotten the opportunity to be in a position to even
Hmm.
phone call from my brother to be in Midnight Star. So I would have to say that was a blessing.
Hmm.
It was, I did get in trouble and uh, problems at school and different things. And once I started martial arts, that kind of changed my life around, and
Hmm.
so everything kind of changes your path and your destiny.
Hmm.
But
So what are the things you could and could have done when you first entered the music business?
say it one more time. What was it?
What are the things and could have done when you first entered the music business?
Mm, I can't think of anything. Can't think of anything different I would have done.
Okay.
I think everything we did kind of led up to the things that we did, as far as the type of music that we did. We did our homework, we did our research,
Hmm.
we trained every day, we practiced every day, we wrote music every day. Got to you know stay positive through trying times. So I can't think of anything. I mean, I think we came up with some really good music that hopefully stands the test of time, and I think we affected people's lives
Hmm.
in a positive way. We try to do positive music, so
Yeah.
that was pretty much our path. But we did have to do the homework to get a hit record, because we always did
Hmm.
good music, positive music, but it had to be um, commercial.
Hmm.
Some you got to hit the mule between the eyes with the 2x4. That basically means that you have to get people's attention, and I think that's what happened with our first hit record, which was Freakazoid. So
Yeah, and Freakazoid was a cartoon back in the 90s.
yes, that's right.
It was one of my favorite cartoons.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It was a fun song, and even more fun, performing it live.
Hmm. So I just want to thank Vincent Calloway, formerly of Midnight Star and one half of the R&B duo Calloway, for stopping by this evening. So why don't you tell the people what you have in store right now?
Well, let's say I have a new solo project that I'm trying to finish up the release. It'll be coming soon. I kind of, like I said, I'll be giving you more information on that. Some art. I've been working on some art projects. I have some portraits that I'm doing, that I'm commissioned to do, that I'm excited about, and staying creative, and uh, got some young athletes that I'm excited about seeing them reach their goals in their own professional field. So just keep moving forward, and thank everybody for checking in and listening in. We just keep staying creative and bringing some good music to you. And definitely appreciate you reaching out, uh, contacting me. This is my first interview like this. appreciate appreciate the experience to do it with
No
you.
problem.
And I
Thank
hope
you.
more.
All right. You have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, well, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. God bless you.
Yes. Bye bye.